Welcome back, everybody, to Stardew Valley here on Fantasy Farm. Today, at least as for the time that I'm recording this, things might change. This will probably be either the last video or the penultimate video, believe it or not, for the series, or at least, again, what I want to show right now. Let's grab some stuff here. Do our usual daily routine. That's not what I'm trying to do. What are your plans for the winter? I know it's more of a laid-back time for you. It is more of a laid-back time, and as a result of that, this is going to be more of a video of just kind of things that I either didn't show or didn't do. In one case, something I did want to actually show off and do in the project, now was just the most apt time to do it. So, it just seemed like it would make the most sense. Switch to this here. So yeah, to give you a bit of an idea of what's going on, this is going to be like a weird hybrid post-commentary thing. I'm basically going to be flipping from point to point, but I'm still going to be doing live commentary, and I'm just going to be recording the sections that I want to show. This first day will be mostly probably intact, I'm going to wager. Again, I'm not entirely sure. Some of these things will take more time than others, and some will take basically no time at all. Some of them I just want to talk about, so again, it kind of varies depending on what the actual subject itself is. So, let's go ahead and do our routine here. Not that it matters too terribly much at this point, but we might as well keep up the tradition, right? And I think I did see, yes, some wool in there. Winter also seems a fitting time to do this, as most of this is... There's one bit that's farming related, but that's actually going to be taken care of on the island, so ultimately it's not too terribly big of a deal. So that's what we will stick with. That said, despite the fact that routine is... Despite the fact that routine is quote-unquote not important, there are still things I want to buy, like the return scepter as I already mentioned. So as I play through the game, and we'll be taking bigger jumps in time at this point, again, just to show things off. Because of that, I am still going to be playing normally. I'm still going to be doing the routine. It's just at this point, since it's kind of the extras, expect to not see much of winter here, but there's not really too much to show here, so ultimately not that big of a deal. Alright, let's drop off that and that, sell the rest. And as it is winter, there obviously are no crops out here to worry about. So put these up. Take that slime egg and put that up. Don't have enough to put more in there. All of these go. I'll hang on to the cave jelly, I guess, sure. Oh, no, we have actually got plenty of the cave jellies. Yeah, go ahead and sell those. Drop off this in here. And now we will start with our sort of... Oh, right, there was some in here as well. Our sort of first order of business. This one is a pretty small one, and thus it's not too terribly important. Let's go ahead and do that. Since we're kind of just doing this for money, we might as well continue to work on it, as farming is not going to earn quite as much as it normally will in other seasons here. So put that away. And the first thing that I want to do... I'm going to be building these and kind of talking about them one at a time, mostly because A, they take time, and B, they take money, which we're lower on the usual for. But I want to talk about some of the buildings that Robin can make you that we just didn't use for one reason or the other. Some of them because they were useless, some of them because there was just no importance for me in particular, but I do want to talk about those. The first and foremost that I want to go ahead and build right now is thankfully an instant one. This is a cabin. This basically allows, even on a single player farm, that you can do local multiplayer. If you're doing multiplayer and say you add 2 starting cabins and then you've got, 3 total, and you have a 4th player that wants to jump on, this is where you would go and build this. It only costs 100 G, so it's obviously extremely cheap. Again, it's built instantly, so you don't have to tell your friend, oh, well, you're going to have to wait like 2 more in-game days before we can actually do anything. So, I think I'm going to put this right there. This cabin is prefabricated, so there's no construction time. Convenient, isn't it? Yeah, and I do believe with those, I wasn't too terribly worried or concerned about them, is... Maybe they're not here? There's different styles of cabin you can get. Oh, here it is, change appearance. Yeah, you can do different styles of cabin depending on what you do or don't like. It's entirely up to you. Again, I don't personally care. This is mostly just going to be me showing off a completed file to friends, but that probably won't, you likely won't even see that on the project. But I did want to show that off. So that's the first thing. Secondly, the pet bowl provides a dedicated home for one pet. If you buy another pet at Marnie's, you're already given one pet bowl at the start of the game, which is what Callie has been using. But you have to have enough pet bowls to accommodate however many pets that you have. If not, they will lose friendship hearts. So this is where you would go to buy that. I don't need to buy this as I don't have any other pets, but I did want to make mention of it, so there we go. Let's see. From there, the well. I'm not going to build this one. I've talked about it a little bit, but I do want to talk about it again. It provides a place for you to refill your watering can. Almost every single farm, with a few exceptions, has some sort of water source to refill your watering can nearby, and as a result, this is not worth 1,000 gold and 75 stone, especially not early game, where you'd actually be refilling your watering can a fair bit of time. Just take the small amount of time, it's not worth 1,000 gold, so I don't recommend building this. The mill allows you to mill wheat, beets, and rice for 2,500 G, 150 wood, 50 stone, and 4 cloth. This one I'm going to consider buying. I might go ahead and grab this one now since it's relatively cheap, but this was also one that I did not buy, but this can make your products worth more, so I think I will pick that one up pretty shortly here. And the last one that I wanted to mention was the slime hutch for 10,000 G. So we can actually get both of these, but I have to pick one at a time, so I'll probably do the other one first. Raise up to 20 slimes, fill water troughs and slimes will create slime balls. I still do not know how this works, so I'm okay with waiting on this a little bit longer and sort of doing my research, but I do want to make this one for sure. I think for now, though, I'm going to quickly grab that wood, stone, and cloth, and I'll probably just grab all that I have and quickly run back that way. It'll likely be faster. Again, for me personally, I just don't use any of these things. I know the slime hutch is semi-popular. I don't really think the mill is, and I'm very sure that people don't care about the well. Like, you know exactly how it works. It doesn't even have a fancy animation or anything. It would be just like refilling your watering can anywhere else, which is a little sad, but that's, you know, that's how it is. All right, so wood, stone, cloth, there we go. I hope that was all we need, and I did not forget anything else on the list. I know money was on there, but that's not too big of a problem. These aren't going to be put anywhere too terribly in the way, as I'm not going to really be using them all that much. Do want to show them off, but otherwise not too terribly fussed about it. So let's go ahead and get Robin on that project. And there we go. This is a pretty small contraption. I'm going to put it back here, as we don't really use this area back here for anything, so this will work just fine. So we'll be seeing those as time goes on, of course. Obviously, I'll have to wait for that one to get built before I can do the slime hutch. But, again, we'll see those. And I'll probably show both of them off and how they work once they're both fully built. Kind of do both at the same time type of thing. It is one of the few uses outside of, like, you know, making your clothing and whatnot that cloth actually has. It seems a little bit weird for it to be in building construction, but it's obviously for the sort of sails, I guess. Well, no, they're not really blades. So, yeah, I guess sail is probably closer. The other thing that I want to show off today, that I showed a little bit of, at least in terms of why, is today we have extremely high luck. I've looked back and forth on this, and I've gotten conflicting reports all over the place. The wiki says no, but the wiki's been wrong on other things before, so I don't know for sure. But today, I'm going to try to do something that I've never done on any Stardew Valley file. I'm only missing 2 achievements. I'm not going to go for the other one because it just ain't happening. Let's keep it real. It's not going to happen. It's just something that's not going to happen. But the other one, I do believe is absolutely possible on my end, so I do want to show that off. And that is, since we do have the key to get in, and even if we didn't, it's almost noon anyway. Today, I am going to do my best to beat Journey of the Prairie King. I've tried it before. I'm absolutely garbage at this game, but people do swear up and down, and we don't really have any other uses for these magic rock candies anymore. They swear up and down that it's affected by luck, so we're going to assume that with a good luck day and a high luck boost, that I will have the best possible chance I can. So, Journey of the Prairie King, you saw a little bit of this whenever I had Abigail's Heart event, because you play through, I believe it's only the first stage of this. And obviously, you've got your WASD to move, you've got your arrow keys to shoot in up, down, left, right directions. You can also do diagonals with both movement and shooting. Initially, this is not too terribly hard, but I just suck at games like this. And luck should hopefully be on my side, at least in terms of getting all of the necessary things that I need in order to provide a win. There's an extra life right there. Coins are going to be the big thing that you want, but the power-ups are also useful as well. The coins will give you shops periodically. Every couple levels you'll be able to pick up potentially an item which is either movement speed, firing speed, or firing power, depending on what you choose and if you've got enough for it. As you can see, though, I'm obviously not very good with this. There are different power-ups. I'm going to hang on to this for a little bit. Oh, now I'm not going to get much of a choice here. Like I said, I'm not very good at this. Shotgun gives you, obviously, the ability to fire multiple bullets. The nuke that we now have in our inventory that we can use with space is a one-time nuke. You want to try to hold on to better items than this. And in fact, I'm going to swap out for that extra thing because that's a high firing rate and it's much better. But we'll see them as time goes on. The Sheriff's Badge is your most ideal one here. I did not get a lot of money off of that first go-around, despite having high luck. There we go. The wagon wheel is a very good one because it will fire in 8 directions. It's not the best one. I still think that's the Sheriff's Badge, but this one's pretty dang good, so... There's nothing for picking up additional power-ups after you've got one in storage, and you like if you're using one already, it's not going to roll over. So if you find one you want, you need to use the current one you have in storage if you have not already used it. I think I'm okay with hanging on to the wagon wheel until I either A, find a sheriff's badge, or B, I kind of am forced to use this one. We'll just see how things go. It looks like I need to use it here, honestly. Yep. So there's a couple extra lives there and a shotgun, so... Because again, I'm not trying to go for a no-death run here. I know full well that's not possible. I've made it a small handful of times to level 2 of 3. I'm not saying this is level 2. This is like 1-2, basically. I'm talking about World 2, I guess. So I've made it a small handful of times that far. And that's basically where those runs have typically ended because I'm, again, not very good at this game. So we're not trying to go for deathless here. We're just trying to go for actually completing the game. That's what I'm going to go for. Oh, right. I forgot. I need to destroy this. There we go. Obviously, I cannot afford the upgraded shots to do more damage, so I'm going to take the firing speed. The third option is the movements, or the far left option, the movement speed, is not super helpful. In fact, it can kind of mess you up because you end up running a little too fast. So grab either shot speed or damage. Damage is your most ideal one, but if you have to go with shot speed instead, that's not a horrible choice by any stretch. So just go with whatever you can between the two. Now, if you're on the last shop, which is like 3-1 basically, and you can't afford any of the other two, then like, yeah, you might as well. There's no reason that you shouldn't if that's the only option you have, and there's no point in collecting the money anymore, then you might as well go for it. Keep the wagon wheel, because I'd rather have that personally. Obviously, the time for each stage is shown at the top is that green bar that is slowly disappearing. So you want to try to basically survive each wave until the time runs out. And once the time runs out, if you've got any of those spikes on the ground, like right there, for example, you will have to eliminate all the remaining enemies. But once they are done, then you are cleared that area. We're actually doing okay right now, but this is only the first world. It's not too terribly hard. And surprisingly, the bosses are actually not very hard either. They're a little dumb, but they're not very difficult, I don't think. We're finding good luck with the extra life, but there we go. Sheriff's Badge, that's more what I'm looking for. There's also coffee, which is speed up. Again, I don't think that's super helpful, so I would say if you got nothing else, sure, but otherwise, don't go out of your way, and definitely don't risk a life in-game for it either. It's fine, but it's not that fine. Like, it's not super, super helpful. Obviously, you want to avoid the entrances, or the exits to the level, because enemies can spawn in and almost immediately kill you. I'm not going to even deal with that. With this area right here, from what I've seen, sometimes enemies will kind of get stuck on each other, but you basically want to just stay towards the middle here and kind of keep things at least semi-contained. I felt the money was more important there. They can obviously drop 1s, they can drop 5s, but we have not seen anybody drop a 5, so that's a bit unfortunate. You've probably also noticed that some enemies... Oops. Or that some objects you cannot shoot through, like these wooden planks or pieces or whatever you want to call them. Other things can, though, be shot through. I want to say the bushes in later stages can be, so keep that in mind. That some things can, others cannot. Just gonna sit right here and fire away. Oh, right, that is a teleporting thing. I was like, I don't think I died, because it didn't make the death jingle for 1, and for 2, I didn't hit anything, but yeah. There we go. Obviously, some enemies will take more hits than others. This is why you want the damage up. We're just fighting these low-level enemies, and so as a result, they don't... Ooh. As a result, they don't take more than a hit. Alright, I think we have enough for... Yes, the shot speed, obviously, because you're increasing it more, costs more, but I would rather have the damage up right now. You're probably going to alternate between these, if I'm being perfectly honest. But now we've reached the boss. You'll never take him alive. Well, that's fine, I guess. So the boss just kind of does a move and shoot thing here. But you can obviously fire diagonally, and that gets him pretty good. You can pretty much just avoid him, honestly, and then obviously when his shots don't go through this, you can just wait for him to get to a certain spot. And just keep firing. He's not too terribly difficult. There you go. The boss, I believe all bosses always drop an extra life. Not completely certain about that, though. Not completely certain. But that's World 1. There's only 3 worlds in the game, so it's not super duper long. Something you will need to worry about if you are not playing on a single-player file, though, is time is passing while you're doing this in a multiplayer file. Oh god, these freaking mushrooms. Hate these things. They're so freaking fast. Obviously, the butterflies can fly through objects, or over them, I guess, technically, but, you know, since it's a 2 game, we'll just say through rather than over. That sort of tombstone-looking thing with the Spirit of Yob on it will basically turn you into a monster, and so they won't attack you for a small amount of time, because they think that you're one of them. So it looks like this. Yeah, this is, like, typically about the point where, though, I would usually, be just about out of lives. Again, this is not a game style I'm particularly good with. I'm okay at shooters. I am by no means a professional in any stretch of the word. I am, yeah, like, below average at best. If we were to put me on a tier maker list, with S being, you know, like, literal professional, like, make money doing this, and F is... can barely hold the controller correctly, I'm probably sitting at, like, if E is a rank, I'm probably sitting at, like, oh gosh, maybe like a high D or a low C at best. I'm definitely below average. Just not too terribly good. Alright. Again, you do want to prioritize the butterflies. From what I saw in other files, people tend to stay towards the open areas here, and I do tend to agree that is probably your best bet here, to be perfectly honest. It gives you more space to fire. Again, you can fire through the trees, not through the stumps. I know it seems backwards, because that kind of is backwards. You would assume that it would be the other way around. I don't think that guy actually touched me, but sure, we can say that he did, I guess. Yeah, usually I would have definitely had a game over by now. I think this is either my first, maybe second time making it to this screen ever. So all things considered, I'm doing well by my standards. So you can see, like, use the area you've got, because otherwise they're just going to surround and drown you, basically, in enemies, and you won't be able to get away from them. Try to keep away from the corners if you can. Obviously, keep away from spawn entrances. And the other annoying thing is that the butterflies can appear from anywhere, not just the entrances. The up, down, left, and right of the middle of each screen, so you do have to watch for that. Alright, I was holding up and to the left, so not sure why I went right. But hopefully we will have enough lives to at least survive. One of the things you can do if you are going for a no-death run is when you complete each world, World 1, World 2, you can stop there for the day and it will save that progress. Okay, good. I was going to say I could pick that up and wasn't sure, and then I wasn't paying attention. These mushrooms are a pain, though. The good news is, theoretically... Ooh, Sheriff Star. Excellent. The good news is that, theoretically, more... oh, I didn't actually mean to use the power-up. Apparently I hit spacebar. The good news is more enemies, theoretically, should mean more money. Again, theoretically. And here I would honestly just stay towards the middle on this screen, as most enemies, obviously not the butterflies, but everything else, will have to go across the little pathways if they come from the north or south. So that makes them have to take a little bit more time. Hey, there's a fiver. I was wondering if those were existing or if they were just some sort of ancient myth, even though I'd seen other people pick them up before. We are going to need those, though, because I do want to start getting more power-ups since I had to forego one earlier. I would like to increase... As much as I would like shot speed, damage output is probably going to be preferable when going into World 3, because enemies take more hits, and that can be a very, very big problem for some of them in particular. Yeah, I'm already getting in big trouble here, I can tell you right now. There's not going to be any room to move there. This is why you want to keep a power-up on hand. Also, if a power-up would drop, that'd be really, really helpful, because just because I wanted money didn't mean I wanted money and no power-ups at all. I still wanted power-ups as well. There we go. Oh, for crying out loud, I couldn't get across the stupid platform. I am going to give this, like, one attempt where you see the full thing. If I do lose all of my lives by being very bad at this game, if I do lose all of my lives, I'll just meet you back at the point where I was farthest in whatever run I was doing, and we'll just go from there. Also, you can press any directional while that wagon wheel is going up, down, left, right, any directional. It doesn't matter since it fires in all 8 directions. I didn't realize I had the coffee cup. I would have actually preferred to not keep that. Again, shot speed's nice, but the damage is more important right now. Shot speed will be next, though. And now we're back to another boss, which is, honestly, he's pretty much exactly the same as the previous boss was. Of course, if he was in a spot I could reach him, that would also be extremely helpful. There you go, just keep firing. It seems like damage doesn't really affect the bosses. Again, the bosses are the easiest part of the game, so it's honestly not that big of a deal. But it seems like, yeah, rate of fire is far more important. It doesn't feel like you do more damage to these guys. Granted, this is boss 2, not boss 1, so I can't say that for sure, but I don't know, it feels a bit odd. I got a hit on him there, but that was it. Come on out. Come on out. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. There we go. Take that, because I'm probably going to need it. Since I lost, like, how many lives there? 6, I think. And obviously it is only going to get more difficult. Also, maybe it's my imagination, but this really reminds me of Zelda 1, the graveyard, like the white and gray graveyard. Yeah, this is why you're going to want damage and shot speed up. The shot speed for the flying imps, demons, I don't know what they are specifically, and the damage for the mummies, I guess. Don't ask me why they're mummies and not just ghosts in general. I honestly don't know. I'm just gonna nuke these guys. But for whatever reason, that is what they are. But yeah, these guys take a lot of hits if you do not have damage up in any capacity. Because remember, we've already boosted damage twice, and it still takes multiple hits to kill them. So yeah. It is definitely pretty tough. I'm kind of hoping that we'll get another power-up here. There we go. Again, I'm not going to, like, use them the second I get them, but if another power-up drops, then obviously I do want to grab that so I can have it in storage, because you do want something in storage in case things go wrong. I don't have enough for anything, but this is going to be the last shop we get, so I'm going to take the run speed up, because if it's that or nothing, you might as well take it. It's not bad, I wouldn't say by any stretch, but it's not as helpful as the other two things are. This is kind of a weird one because of how you have to shoot sort of diagonally around these graves, but it means you have to watch your left very carefully. Same thing, obviously, if you're on the right, you have to watch your right very carefully. So yeah, for me personally, the Sheriff's Badge and the Wagon Wheel are bar and away your best power-ups. Your shotgun and your whatever this is supposed to be, your rapid fire, basically, are not bad by any stretch. They're both very good. Okay, yeah, this does fire through the graves as well. I'm gonna double check that. They're not bad by any stretch. The coffee cup I would put below that. The zombie one's kind of for me personally, but it's not bad. The nuke is a very, very temporary solution to a much bigger problem. Speaking of bigger problems, I need an actual power-up to appear here. Thank you! Thank you for making that appear on top of an enemy where I could not get it and had no chance to get it because I was getting surrounded. Very helpful. There's no point in picking up the coins now. I'm not going to do it through Force of Habit. That was more just a case of, well, I had to because that was the direction I had to go. Yeah, there's not really anywhere to go here either. Nope, don't need you. Yeah, that other shotgun disappeared, but that's alright. Sheriff's Badge. Okay, good. That will come in handy. So we are probably going to need it, because I believe this is the penultimate level think it's just the boss level and this are the only things left. But yeah, this one's pretty nasty. As you can clearly see. I was wondering if this was only going to be the imps for a second there, and I did not remember there being only the imps when I was watching somebody play through this to get a little bit of advice on what to do. Excellent. Another sheriff's badge. Because at least you can kite the mummies a little bit. Like, there's no kiting these imps. They're just going to come straight for you. Oh, yeah, this other one of, like, the stops enemies for a split second and warps you around. I don't care for that one, personally. That was why I used it immediately, swapped it out for the nuke. I don't think the nuke is good either, but I think it's better than that one. Because it warps you to a random position, and sometimes it could put you in a worse spot than where you were before. Which, obviously, you don't want. Sure, we'll grab the coin, because why not? Again, nowhere to go on that one. But the timer, I believe, is almost up. I can't see it on my screen, so that's why I say I believe it is. That stuns them for a little bit longer than I thought. That might be okay for getting, like, the current wave of imps on the screen. You might get enough time to be able to knock them out. But I think that's probably basically all you're going to get. Oh, we are going to get another shot for a shop. Well, I'm going to take the fire speed, obviously. It's clearly more vital. Yep, and here is the final boss. So this is kind of the bullet hell thing I've never personally been good at, but pretty much the idea, at least for when she's firing at you, is to pay attention, for one. Hi. But it seems like paying attention to yourself is more useful than paying attention to where she is. There we go. Wow, only took one try. I'm impressed. Bear in mind, I never saw past 2-1, so this is stunning that I actually beat Journey the Prairie King on my first try here. I'm excited about that. That's very nice. Very nice. And no way am I going for a deathless run once again. Screw that noise. It ain't happening. I do like this game, though. I think it's really fun. It's really cool. But yeah, Deathless, even Concerned Ape himself said, like, I think the Deathless Run achievement is a little too hard. Press button for more difficult journey. I'm gonna press N for no. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna back out of that. And I do believe that should, yeah, give us wherever it was. That's reached the summit. Where's the other one? So I know there was a one for Journey the Prairie King, or at least I'm pretty sure there was. Maybe there wasn't. Okay, well, that's perfectly fine. Or maybe it was the complete it without dying one. Regardless, that's all I wanted to show immediately. I'm going to take a quick look at my notes, and then we're going to pop back, and I'm going to see what we're going to do from there. Alright, we are back. A couple other things I want to show. First and foremost, I'm going to go into my skills tab here. And I want to point out that if you click on the Junimo multiple times, you can add this little banner once you've gotten all of the, whichever you decided to do, whether that was, I think it actually has to be going through, not going through the Joja route. I think you have to do Community Center. But I did want to show off that, like, nice little extra thing that it adds a little bit, some extra layers of grass and whatnot. From here, there's one thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to show one of them, but it's not going to pop up until the next season, so we're going to have to wait for a bit of time. But one of them is available today, so I do want to show it off. And that is over on the island, and since we do need to check the key quests, though I think I already did that last video, we'll see how things go there. One of the things I do want to show is, of course, the remaining key quests, but those have to appear in order for me to show them, so until that happens, we're kind of just playing a waiting game on that point. So we'll see what happens, but obviously once those appear, then I will be showing how to do the 2 remaining that do appear. But let's take a look first. I don't believe either one is here, though. No, neither of these are here. I guess we'll do that. I don't really care. It is all the same to me on that front. This still lasts for a pretty good amount of time. The other things that I wanted to talk about / show off are the hats in-game. There are several hats, and I am definitely not going to show them all because some of them are just completely luck-based, of just, hey, you might find this in a chest in the Skull Cavern. And, like, that's just it. That's the chance of finding them, is just a chance to find them in there. I do want to point out some of them, though. Right here, the small cap, there is a 30 taro root trade that you can do on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The one for Monday is the small cap. I'm going to be right back to check the other 2. The bluebird mask, which is going to look like this guy right here, and the deluxe cowboy hat. The bluebird mask is Wednesday, and the deluxe cowboy hat is on Friday. If you want to trade for any of those, they are 30 taro root for all of them. It just depends on which day of the week. I'm going to mark those off my list, and then we'll continue on with the whole hat thing. So you're going to be seeing me cut in and out of here quite a bit. Back over at the hat mouse here, I did want to show off all of the possible hats you could get here. Almost all of these are tied to either achievements or to making a certain amount of money, and I'm just going to go and say right now, rather than tell you which one goes to which, I'm just going to tell you, hey, you should check the wiki, because the wiki will actually give you a proper answer on, oh, this is how you unlock XYZ, and in fact, while I'm sure I've got all the achievement ones, because those are all unlocked, I am going to very quickly look through here, so again, there'll be a bit of cutting for me to mention, hey, this is how you get X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to, like, very quickly and slowly go ahead and scroll through all the ones that we've got here, and the prices on each of these, so you can see if you like any of these, you can figure out on the wiki what they correspond to and how to get them. So let's go ahead and go through all these. You can barely see some of these, too. Not all these are hats, too. Some of them are technically caps. Some of them are, like, little, you know, icons, or like an eye patch, a band, a bonnet, a bow, a mask. Which a mask is not a hat at all. It doesn't even go on the same part of your face. But you get the idea here. The elegant turban. Alright, let me check my notes real quick, and then we'll be right back. Alright, we are back, and now thankfully I've got this set of notes moved to my phone, so I won't have to cut as much as I would. Again, some of these I'm just going to talk about right now, and then some of them will actually physically show where they are and how to get them. Ones that I'm going to mention but not show off. First and foremost are the red and blue cowboy hats. These are the ones I mentioned that you can only get from Skull Cavern treasure chests. So it is just pure random. You have to look for the treasure chest. You have to hope that of all the things it picks, that it picks one of those. If you don't really specifically want those, you could always get like the cowpoke or cowgirl hat here and then use the clothing, either Emily's workshop or your own, if you've got your own, and just change the color that way. So that is one option. The next one I want to mention is the living hat. There is a 0.001% chance while cutting weeds to find this item. You might be seeing now why I don't want to show off all of these. Up next is the mushroom cap, which if you plant a mushroom tree, we saw that was an option for getting one of Key's rewards, is you can make basically mushroom trees. There is a 1% chance that a mushroom tree that you chop down will drop the mushroom cap, which I guess is better than the living hat, but that's still a 1% chance. That means on average you're going to be cutting down 100 of those things to try and find it, and it just looks like the top of one. It's honestly not that impressive. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of hats you can make by tailoring. You can obviously customize ones that you've seen. You can make specific ones. Again, I just recommend you use the wiki for this just to see what they look like. If you find one you look like, you look up how to get it. I think that's probably your better bet on that option. With a 0.2% chance of checking trash cans, you can find the garbage hat. It has to have been over 20 trash cans you've checked, but after that you'll get a 0.2% chance. So what would that be? Not a 1 in 100, but like 1 in 500 or whatever that number is. I'm not good with math. Over here in Key's, I almost said cuisine. Keys Cuisine instead of Kid Cuisine. In Keys Casino, one of the ones you can also get for 8,000 is a Top Hat, the Gentleman's Classic, for 8,000 coins. This will always be here. Once you got this unlocked, you can just get 8,000 coins and just buy this. This one's not too terribly bad to get. There is another 0.1% drop from the Tiger Slimes, which are the ones that you see in the Volcano Dungeon or on the Volcano Island, where you can get a tiger hat. It looks more like a mask. It gives you, like, the weird tiger mane thing. I'm not super keen on it, but that is an option if you so wish. I'm going to check for one that could be potentially in the Volcano Dungeon. We'll see. Well, actually, no, because that's in the floor 5, so I'll just mention it. In the Volcano Dungeon, there is a 25% chance every single day to get the pink bow. It is 10,000 G in order to get it. We've probably actually seen it in the project at some point. Let's see. That one I can show off, though, so I'll go ahead and run to that one. There are 3 additional hats you can also get, which are the Tricom hat. Or no, sorry. The 2 additional ones you can get from the Desert Festival, which are the Tricom hat and Abigail's bow. You can get these from... Oh, God, Harvey, take the speed off, my guy. You can get these from Elliot and Emily, respectively. I don't know why I put Emily there. If it's Abigail's bow, I would assume Abigail is the one you get it from. But I could be wrong about that, I don't know. But if you are looking for those, check the Desert Festival. The Joja Cap and Laurel Wreath Crown are given to you by Emily at the Desert Festival when she does your outfit change, meaning that it is pure random if you get them or not. Here, you can get the question mark hat. It's not really a hat, but yeah, it's just Concerned Apes logo. And you can get this from this monkey in the Volcano Caldera after you've achieved 100% perfection and saw the cutscene and all that. The last one I have to show off will not appear until spring of 17, but if I forget how to, or forget to show that off, I'll go ahead and mention it right now. This is the Leprechaun hat. You can get this by finding the pot of gold that's on the map in spring 17, and it is pretty much right by the hat mouse that we saw earlier. It basically takes you to the end of the rainbow, and you'll get 200 G. Every year that you select this, every year you go and get it, it will up the amount slightly up until it hits a certain cap, but it's honestly not really worth the time. You'd probably just get it for the Leprechaun hat if you wanted the Leprechaun hat, and from there you're likely just not going to bother with it again, because it's not worth the amount of time it takes to hike all the way down there. But that's just one person's opinion. Let's grab these, and then we'll figure out what to... Oops. Oh, that's horrifying. That's horrifying. How do I get that removed? How do I'm gonna figure out how to remove that RNA. Well, okay, cool. I'll figure out how to remove that, and then we'll talk about what next I want to talk about on my list. So we'll be right back once again. Alright, it appears, I believe, the way to get this off of your animal is to use a different hat of any kind, and normally you have to click on it twice to get it to appear. So yeah, you click on it once. A second time would add the one that you have, but yeah, we're going to put that away before that happens again. One other thing I want to show we can't do now because Pierre has already closed for the day, so I'm going to wait on that one. But I will go ahead and mention it and then just show it off. And that is mentioning... mentioning the bee houses. I'm going to move these over to the island. One thing that we never did, but you absolutely can do, is there's more types of honey you can make besides just wild honey. And the way to do that is by planting specific crops, flowers, etc. around the houses in order to get those. So I'm going to go ahead and put one right here. And, oh, I don't know where I'll put the other one. I guess, like, probably towards the bottom area here. We'll put it, like, here, I guess. Also, I thought there weren't any crops today, but I guess there were a few. So, whenever I get the chance, since he's got full stock for crops, I'll go and buy some various things, and you can see the different types of honey. The best one, I believe, in terms of price, is the Fairy Rose honey, meaning the Fairy Rose that you would normally get in fall, i.e. these. So, if you're on the island, obviously you can do these at any time, but if it's fall, it's got to specifically be the Fairy Rose. Remember that once again, during the winter, that the bees do not produce honey, at least on your non-island farm. On the island, they'll continue to produce it, but obviously with no flowers to plant during winter anyway, that is not going to happen. So, Let's go ahead and mark that off my list. And what else do I have to mention? So we still need to show off the slime hut whenever that gets built, as well as the mill. Talked about the island for different types of honey. Genome cart, 50,000 points, and key crop when they show up. We have to wait for that to show up. There is one more thing I want to show, but I think I need to gather more material to do that first. So I'm going to wait on that for the time being, and I think I will just see you guys either once this gets built, or once we've got the... once it gets built, or once we've got the materials necessary to show off that additional thing I want to. In order to do this, just grab a lot of whatever material. Obviously, since I picked the axe, I'm going to go clear out Cindersap Forest. But for now, I'm going to end this, and then we'll see you guys in a new part. Might be a completely different day. We'll find out. Alright, the next day after beating Journey of the Prairie King, I want to show this off. This is, again, live commentary. Like I said, a bit of a hybrid one for this last episode. Congratulations, you beat Journey of the Prairie King and randomly selected in our exclusive winner sweepstakes. You've won a Prairie King arcade system of your very own. Now you can enjoy Journey of the Prairie King from the comfort of your own home. You deserve it, Prairie King Development Team. So yes, you'll actually get a copy of Journey of the Prairie King. So if you'd like to torture yourself more for some reason, you can do that. You can, you know, set it wherever you like. I'll go ahead and just put it up here, I think. But yeah, it totally functions, just like the other one. Continue journey, start new journey. Obviously, you can play on the higher difficulties. I did want to show that off. I'm going to see if I got enough wood in order to be able to do what I wanted to here. I'm going to see if this is a thing that I can do from here. Yeah, this looks like I'll be able to do it. So you're noticing in the bottom left corner of the screen, I'm just like tossing wood out and picking it back up, and that number is increasing, and it's now at like 12,000 or so. I'm actually going to move this down here so this is a little bit easier to do. So you can continue to do this and get this number to go higher and higher, and you're thinking, okay, well, what's the point of that? That seems pretty dang useless to me. Which, you know, that's fair. It would be normally in any other circumstance, this would not be of any use to you whatsoever. But if you continue to do this for long enough, you'll end up getting a little bit of a surprise. And I'm hoping that, oh no, it looks like it's just going to keep doing that. So it looks like you only need about 3 stacks to be able to do this, but as time goes on, we'll see a little bit of something appear here decently soon, I think. But for now, I'm just going to keep quiet, and I'll make mention of it whenever it appears. So we'll do a little bit of cutting, but just note that it's just going to be me doing this over and over again, so it's not anything too terribly exciting. Okay, there's our first one. Once you get to 100,000, you get this ellipses in the corner. I didn't write that. That was the game doing that, so we're just going to keep going. There it is again. At 20,000 now. And at 25,000, it says shooting for 1,000,000. Or sorry, 250,000, not 25,000. Well, maybe we will shoot for 1,000,000 and see exactly what happens, huh? We've now, of course, reached our halfway to 1,000,000, over 500,000, and the game is gone from the, hey, you should try to do this challenge, to back to being unimpressed. So we'll see you again when something else happens, which will probably either be the 1,000,000 mark or the 750,000, whichever it might be. I'll see you guys for that. Alright, I think we'll cut back in right here because we are about to hit 1,000,000. As you can see, we're at 997, 98, 99. And there you go. The Secret Iridium Stackmaster Trophy achieved. Key, slow claps. Congratulations, kid, you did it. Now on to the next challenge. I don't think this is, yeah, it's not really anything too terribly important. It's not an achievement in terms of counting towards this total. It's not an achievement for your Steam profile. Neither of those are too terribly important. Also, ow. It took me about 12 minutes to do that based on my timer, roughly 12 minutes, give or take. And I was going at a pretty decent pace. I didn't really stop or slow down. I screwed up a little bit, but not like a huge amount. And if I'd had just 4 stacks of that and used just the 999s, probably could have gone a little bit faster. But that said, it still does take quite a bit of work. That said, it's just like a really funny, silly Easter egg that was thrown in the game by Concerned Ape. I appreciated it whenever I first saw it, and it was something I wanted to show off here. So, with that said, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and buy some different flowers from Pierre to put around the bee, whatever it is, the bee houses, there we go. I'm going to put some different flowers around the bee houses, so I'm going to go buy those at Pierre's, and from that point, I'm pretty much just going to play normally and continue to build up my income. I'm going to build the slime hutch, I'm going to work on saving up money to getting the return scepter, and maybe see if there's anything else in his repertoire that I want. I don't think so. And I'll continue to pop back in whenever either both of the buildings are built, which is probably going to be the first thing that happens, we get the 2 million for the return scepter, or when one of the 2 remaining key challenges that we have not yet completed show up. So whenever any of those happens, you'll be seeing that right now. Alright, doing a quick jump cut into here. This is, as it says, after you have the new slime hutch. I got this built after I built the mill, and so I just wanted to show this quick little scene here, where after I left my house in the morning, Marlon was outside, and he said, bumped into Robin this morning. She told me you've got a new slime hutch. Not bad. I was into slime breeding at your age. It's a great hobby, but dangerous. How'd you think I lost this eye? Just kidding. Here, I've got something for you. Ah, I see. You received a green slime egg. It's a slime egg. You can place that inside a slime incubator to hatch it. Now take a good hard look at that egg. Next time you're out slime hunting, keep your eyes peeled for more eggs. They're rare, but slimes do drop them from time to time. Collect eggs from different slimes to add some variety to your herd. Or additionally, you could just be doing what I've been doing, which is using the slime that I've collected to make all of these. Obviously, predominantly I have some green, but there's some blues, some reds, and some purples in here as well. So just wanted to show that section off. I'm not going to start with the slime breeding right now, but yeah, just wanted to mention that that cutscene does appear.